So I'm going to talk a little bit about tendinopathy, or tendinitis is one of the main ones that we'll probably hear about, and what we can do to help with any kind of tendinopathy. So what is it? Well, it's an inflammation of the tendon, which is generally from overuse. So the biggest ones that we might hear of are maybe tennis elbow or golfer's elbow. And as much as you might think that that's coming from the elbow, it actually comes from flexion in the wrist. I can't actually flex my wrist that much because I'm snowboarding and I've got a wrist protector that holds it, but it's that kind of movement. So tennis elbows when we go backwards, golfer's elbows when it comes forward. And the muscles that make the wrist flex actually connect from the wrist all the way down, so flexion and extension in the wrist. And the problem is when we do it excessively, so it's done over and over and over again, which a tennis player would do with a backhand and a golfer would do when they're swinging to hit the ball. So it would go in that forward direction, as you would consider it, towards the palm. So because it's being used excessively, what's going to make it worse? Well, more excessive movement is going to make it worse. What we need to do to start to strengthen the tendons is we need to hold it in a position in what we call an isometric contraction. So if you've got golfer's elbow or tennis elbow, it would be different depending on which one you've got to which way you would strengthen it. But you could use any kind of resistance tube or even just a belt off your dressing gown. Hook it round the banister and you would pull the wrist so that it's holding still, but it's under tension the whole time. So there's a bit of power coming through. You could also do it with a weight. So maybe like a can of baked beans and you're lifting the baked beans up, or you'd be turning it the other way and lifting it the other way and just holding it. So we create more strength in tendons when we hold a position. We call this isometric contractions when we work. So this is something that would be really good to add into any kind of training. So I'm snowboarding at the moment. As you can see, this beautiful view. I'm in Maribel right now. And the position that we hold in snowboarding is going to put quite a lot of stress on the tendons. So how do we train for that? Well, quite often we hold a static squat where I'd be sitting in a sit position with my back against the wall as if there was an imaginary chair underneath me, but there's nothing there. And I'd be holding that for a period of time because that kind of simulates some of the training or some of the movement that I would be doing on my snowboard, or if you were skiing, it's the same, while I'm out on the slopes. But that hold, pretending that there's a chair there with my body in a 90-degree angle from the legs, would be creating tension in the muscles and the tendons to make them stronger. So the thing you need to remember with a tendinopathy is not to excessively move it, but to hold it still under tension, which will then strengthen your tendons. I hope this helps if you have any kind of tendinopathy or tendinitis.